direct you where you need to go through the mirage of what's in the city.
Because the rental property behind me, where they mowed the lawn once last year and never watered, is now full of broadleaf weeds, which those were dandelion type seeds growing from my bike path.
Talk to Barton.
Yeah, and actually, you know, they can enforce something if you allow them onto your property. They can visually see the next door. Then they can deal with that.
Yeah.
If they can't see it from the street, they're not allowed access. They wouldn't know.
They can see it from the bike path, and I think that.
If they can see it from the bike path,
They should then also be able to.
Right. And according to city ordinance, it says not any debris or anything else, right? The area should be maintained with some semblance of you know, clean area, so on and so forth,
Yeah.
with a good. And it says that if it's viewable from the street, so you can't keep trash cans to the side of your house if there's nothing blocking it. Okay.
But I have cited ones for weeds visible from the bike path, so these people.
Right.
Also,
If your backyard is nothing but trash, and I mean mounted trash,
yeah.
even though it's not viewable from the street, and maybe it's not viewable from the bike path, city ordinance also says that if it's viewable from a neighboring property, it is also considered to be in violation of city ordinance. So while the code enforcement officer may not be able to view it from the street or the bike path, you are certainly welcome to invite them into your home and turn around and have them see what the issue is, what it is that you're looking at from your home, because you shouldn't have to look at that either. So those are different avenues and things to take a look at. So, all right. Well, I appreciate the questions. They're very good questions, and I think that most of the people in Mission Viejo should have a clearer understanding of what the parameters are for those things. So I appreciate you asking those questions. Do we have any other questions? Family questions? All right. All right. So the next item on the agenda then is the approval of minutes from last month. Those minutes are before everybody. I believe that there's a copy of them in the gallery as well. If I can get a motion to accept the minutes. Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second? Second. We have a second. Is there any further discussion? Okay, if there's no further discussion, I call it to order. All in favor? Aye. All right. The approval for the minutes are passed. Review of financial matters. I put a packet in front of everybody. The packet is rather lengthy this time because we're not only doing 1 month, we're doing actually last month's and this month's combined together into one. So I draw your attention to the statement beginning balance, which was actually that from 2 months ago. Beginning balance was $13,926.74. We had a whole bunch of payments cleared through, and a lot of those things were our D&O insurance and a lot of other things that came through there. We also had the payment go for Ironwood for all of the weed suppression. Anyway, at the end of the day, with everything said and done, currently the amount in the checkbook is $5,947.48. That is item number 1. And on page 2, you will see how that relates to the block that goes into the newsletter every month. In addition, the beginning balance is reflected on page 3, which is the bank statement beginning balance. And if you see the statement ending balance where the number 3 is on page 1, refers to the ending balance for the bank statement on 5/30, which is on page 4. I did leave you guys some notes for upcoming costs for further discussion coming up here. Upcoming in June and all the way through July 31st, this is some of the things that we kind of see is coming in and out. We're expecting about $6,200, $6,300 check coming in. It's supposed to be in already. I checked the mailbox this morning. It was not in yet, but we are expecting it to come in at any time. We do have to pay our annual fee for the mailbox, storage for $1,700. Music in the park event, which I put in there $900. You guys will see what that equates to a little bit later on. We still have about $1,300 in charges coming for the 4th of July. The Welcome Committee, I anticipate about $150 in expenditures. We still have to pay pro disposal $245 for the roll-off. There are some additional miscellaneous costs that are roughly around $250. So if everything runs right through the end of July, we'll be sitting at about $7,442. That's roughly what I figure. These numbers, by the way, are based upon some of the other discussion that we're going to be having this evening. So with all that said, that is all the financial matters for the months of for May and June through today. So if I can have a motion to accept the financials. Jeremiah is making a motion to accept. Do I have a second? We have a second. Do we have any further discussion? If there's no further discussion, we'll make a motion. All in favor? Aye. Passes unanimously. All right. On to the next item, which is committee reports. The only committee we will not hear from in this section is the 4th of July, as it is part of continuing discussion for the item 6B. Anything on the Welcome Committee, so I'll refer to what the information I just provided you for the Welcome Committee. Last month, this past month, Trish went and visited approximately 24 homes, new homes in Mission Viejo, and she reported that everybody was very favorable to her visit. They appreciated all the goodies in the bags and so on and so forth. She said she is just about out of keychains, and that is, we purchased those I think about 2-3 years ago. It's one of those things that we put in the bag. We have the bag, we have the keychain, we have a couple other things. We have pens and other things that we give to new residents. So she is asking whether or not we will fund or refund new keychains. That's also going to be, that motion is going to be coming up in new business. So just wanted to make sure that you guys knew that that was coming up and what that is all about. She did say she had one other person turn around and give her a hand. She's always looking for new folks to turn around and bake cookies, go door to door. This is probably the busier time of the year with homes turning over during the June, July, and August time frame. So if there's anybody that would like to join the Welcome Committee to go bake cookies and drop bags off at new homes, tell them about the trash program and that kind of thing, please turn around and email us. I believe that there's a link on our webpage also to connect directly to Trish. I believe it's Welcome Committee at MissionViejoHomeownerAssociation.com or welcome at MissionViejoHOA.org. Pardon me. If you're interested and that's not on the website, I believe that it is. Jeremiah is verifying that for me right now. You can always contact another member of the board, and we will turn around and get that message to Trish. Nothing new from the Garden Club. They are, I think they volunteered again this year to put the flags up for the 4th of July around the garden. Business liaison, we're not working on anything right now. And that is it on committee reports. Anybody else know of anything else? None. Great. Next on the agenda is unfinished business, item 6A, which was the neighborhood garage sale. Last meeting I asked you guys to turn around and help me put up signs. And once we turned around and actually looked at the signs that we had actually said garage sale today. So we couldn't put them up on Wednesday night. We had to wait until Thursday night to get them up. And then, so Todd and I went out and put all the signs up. On Saturday, I was actually having a birthday party at my house that Saturday afternoon. And as the party was ending, there was Todd with all of the signs, the garage sale signs. So he took them all down. So I really do appreciate Todd's help, even though he's not on the board anymore. I really did appreciate his help in getting those signs up and down. I appreciate everybody on the board, their efforts to try to get those signs up. And I apologize that there was some miscommunication in last month's meeting.
Well, thanks to Todd.
So overall, the garage sale in the neighborhood went well. There was quite a few garage sales that were going on in the neighborhood. Had a lot of positive feedback. As Todd and I were putting signs up on that Thursday evening, people were getting ready for their garage sales, and they really appreciated seeing those extra garage sale signs going up to attract people to the community. Not only did we have our garage sale, I believe that there were 3 neighboring communities that also had community garage sales, so there was quite a few people in the area garage selling that weekend. So I want to thank everybody that had a garage sale that weekend, everybody that helped with all the planning and putting that together. I think that we will be looking, we do have some extra banners. We will need to get 2 banners up this year. I did find that there were 4 banners actually in the storage area, but we didn't have the poles and stuff to do it, so we may turn around and look at trying to find some mechanism to get those up so we can get them up in all 4 corners of the neighborhood next year. So that's my after action on that. Off to item 6B. This is the big one for this evening. This is the Independence Day planning. Troy, it's all up to you.
Okay, good. We have the band. We have the balloon animal guy, dunk tank, jumpy castles, games room, storage shed, all the food organized. I will not be there. I will be going to a funeral in Wisconsin that week. I'm leaving on the 2nd now, so I'm making a list of all the stuff I have. I'll have everything organized. All the food will be set, coolers, and ready to go, and the dry stuff. And Jerry, Kiefer, and Lois have also volunteered to help with the grill this year, so they know what to do, dial in. So,
what time is the setup starting?
we should start about 8:30 or 9.
I'm going to complicate things a little bit more here in a minute.
You're done too.
Just
Okay, so our neighbors are donating the jumpy castles in the big tent again this year, so they'll put that up. And then I've had some people volunteer on email me. So the other people who show up, I just said that we need help setting up tables, cleaning up, organizing the games. Pretty simple stuff. So.
all right. You have enough people to serve you.
Well, there's always plenty of people to serve food. Lois brings her whole team, and then Elaine brings a team of people. The same ladies every year.
Okay. We checked with both of those
Yep.
folks in there. They're on tap to provide that support.
The hot suckers on tap to cook on the grill again.
Okay.
So that's all good there.
Okay. All right.
One quick question. We have to pick up the dump tank the day before. I don't think we can get it sit on the street, so where did we put it?
We did that one year. We left it in the street in front of your house, actually. Yeah.
Is it a trailer?
Yeah,
It's a trailer. The rules about trailers say that you can leave it on the street so long as it is connected to a vehicle. But once it's attached to a vehicle, it's actually against city ordinance.
And then people send it to our
Right.
So you take it back on the 5th anyway. So.
Actually, did we take it back?
Picking it up on the 3rd, bringing it back on the 5th.
Perfect.
Shouldn't be any issues.
Shouldn't be any issues.
Or the 2 overnights. If you needed it out of the way for some reason, we'd be back to the driveway.
Actually, my driveway will be wide open. If you need a place to, my driveway will be wide open. Let me know. Not that any burglars are watching this on TV.
All right. So for the dump tank, we need to have somebody.
I'm going to go to the fire station. If they'll do it for us, fine. If not, I guess I'll try to get a hold of the city and see if they can for the phone numbers.
Okay.
But I'll leave contact names. But I'll let you know if the fire department says, no, I'll probably call you your contact groups if we're.
We'll probably then go to Bob.
The fire department did it last time.
Yeah, and I don't think it'll be an issue, because I know usually they try to, if we invite them for trucks going out there like we normally do.
Bob always says that, I'm sure he did.
Okay. All right, yes,
I want to double check.
Carrie may need you to go with her to pick up the dump tank, since you have an ID card to get on base, because of what we spoke to you about.
Yeah, we'll take care of it.
So leave on the 8th.
We'll figure it out.
Fire trucks. So can you follow up with me on room or local fire trucks? I'm pretty sure you told me we did it already. Then, yeah, I have all the dry food in my garage already. And they're frozen off in my freezers.
All right. So is somebody doing like we've done in years past where they were pre-cooked?
I'll boil them earlier that week.
Okay.
I'll put them in 2 gallon Ziploc bags, by the 50 each bag, and then know how many you go through.
The Boy Scouts are doing flag ceremony starting at 10, correct? Right. Followed by the bike parade, and the pet parade in the.
We're going to put in a temporary pole. Where would you want that?
Flagpole?
Frontier style, so it'd be just like wood or concrete. Timber scratched together.
Well, you know where the music's playing, and then we're over here.
Yeah.
Maybe out in front of the music stage along that sidewalk would be a cool spot, and music being background of the flag.
Right.
All right, cool.
Yep.
Backdrop.
Okay.
Just have to play like national anthem.
They will.
All right. So talking about the music for that day. I did get some email back and forth. You and I have been involved in this traffic. There was an increase in the price for the band this year. It went up significantly. I talked to them. It did come down some on that, and the current price that we will be paying for the band this year now stands at $500 plus $50 for the generator. But it's an increase of $50 over last year. So that is where we stand with the band. Independence Day, the 4th of July is wreaking a lot of havoc with me. As you guys know, I have both of my kids are abroad, and my younger daughter is moving from Portugal. She's moving out of there, and her flight finally comes into Denver on the 4th of July at 10:30 in the morning.
Yeah, so bring the grill and go.
Just about enough time to turn around and drop stuff off, turn around and go to the airport, and maybe be there for cleanup if I'm lucky, right? So
I will do the best I can for billing for you. I mean, that's not done. It's just.
right, you know, and my daughter's only going to be in town for just a couple of weeks this year, so I really want to
Alan,
be there and
you
pick
give
her
so
up.
much
So,
to all this stuff to leave it. Do you there?
Yeah.
so
Who's on the grill? You have a truck?
I have a truck.
he has a truck, and you know, I'm more than happy to help get a lot of the other stuff there that morning. Between Tom and Jeremiah and myself, all three of us have a credit card, so we can get water, ice, all that kind of stuff. I'll let you guys fight amongst yourselves who wants to do what. I did, and I talked, I think, Troy, with you about it, and I think I mentioned it to Tom. You know, a couple of weeks ago, I saw in the newspaper on a Sunday that Kmart had an event tent, and this event tent would literally have enough room for 4 of these tables with chairs around them to be put in under a single tent. That's a pretty substantial tent as far as size. with sides being able to be put on them as well. It was on sale for $149. However, they didn't have it in the store, or I would have gotten it for $149 for the HOA. But I thought it was interesting that the regular price for it is only $199. Okay, and so I thought about it. If not the 4th of July this year, because I don't know whether or not they'll have any in stock before then. But we have been looking at, we've done the hayride in December. We've kind of moved it around from here down to the school, and we've done it in different places. But we've never really had it down like by Mission Park, because we've had no structure and it's cold. So one of the things that I certainly would like you guys to think about, and I don't want to answer for it tonight if you guys don't want to vote on it. But if we wind up getting a tent like that, we would be able to then maybe set it up down by the park in December, so that we could have the hayride from another part of the neighborhood, and that we're not limited. That sounds good. Does that sound a reasonable type of thing? So, I mean, I think with tax, it would have come up to like $245, and they say that it takes 3 to 4 people about 45 minutes to set up. So,
Are we still on 6B though?
Well, I'm kind of throwing it in here because it is, if it's something that you guys want for the 4th of July, as well as the holiday hayride, if you want me to try to get it before the 4th of July, I need to know, and that's one more thing that we need to try to get. Huh? Right. So if it's something you want for the 4th of July, then we need to discuss it now. If you guys want to wait and have a discussion later for the holiday hayride,
Music in the park, instead of music in the park. But that's too much to get done before the 4th. The 4th is like a week and a half away.
yeah.
No. Okay, let's just wait for the music in the park.
Then it gives us time to consider,
All right.
what do we have? What do we
Music in the park is not that far off either, so do you want to have a discussion? Do you want me to try to find
I
it? to
say
get it
if you
before?
vote on it, if you can get it for the 4th, if you're all set to go, then fine. If not, you've got to prove it to get it before music in the park. How does that sound?
Yep.
Okay.
Let's just take care of it.
Okay, that's
All
fine.
right.
I'm for it.
So I got a motion. I have a second. Any further discussion?
Is it,
Well, you know what
budget-wise?
dimensions it is? Assuming 10 by 20 or
20 by 20.
It is 10 by, I think, 30 or 35. It's at Kmart. And it's called an event tent.
Well, the thing is the weather's always sort of rowdy here. It's nice to have something, especially
Right.
for, some of the residents who are maybe a little bit elderly and don't want to stay
Right.
in the rain.
Yeah, but we have
The 10th on the 4th to be put up
Well,
is
don't we have 3?
slightly here underneath it.
They're pop-up, but they're not enclosed tents.
But I understand it's
Right.
Okay.
So, and I have one of those heating poles. So if we got to, the winter time, I could turn around and take the heating pole and stick it down and let it.
And my structure has we have 2 heaters as well.
So there are ways that we can do it and make it work if that's what we want to do.
Okay.
So, all right, so we had first, we had a second.
Yep.
Any further discussion? We've had the further discussion.
Ask a question as far as budget-wise,
Budget-wise,
as we forecast towards, through the year.
I forecasted through the year, and if everything that we project to come in currently comes in, the 245 will not be an issue.
Okay, my next question, since I'm out of town, everything will be staged in my garage.
Yes.
Hot dogs will be in the fridge.
Yes?
I can give someone a passcode and have everything in pile for the day of the 4th. You pick it up and bring it to the park. I can always ask Charlie. It's not her.
I know, you just, how do you like to be
They get into the garage. They have the code already.
Okay.
Okay. So,
Is
But
Marley?
that doesn't have to do with this other guy. Sure.
well, this is for the 4th of July on the 10th.
Well, on the 10th, we're finishing the motion on the 10th.
Yeah,
So any further discussion on the 10th?
No.
If none, let's go ahead and vote on that. All in favor of the extension of the 10th? Aye. Okay, that passes unanimously.
And basically, we'll just leave it with you, Ellen, with you get everything.
All right, I'll work on
All right.
that. All right, so you said you're not going to be at home,
Nope.
but Charlie has the,
You know the code. Charlie knows the code.
all right.
If anyone else.
I'll coordinate through you to turn around and I don't know if Charlie needs it need any help getting any of that stuff to the park?
We got that big cargo van that we usually haul over there in.
Okay.
So I'll ask
Just to have Charlie turn around and communicate with me whether or not he needs help loading it, which I'm sure that he will. I just don't know how many hands I'll have available. That
Oh, yeah.
way, right?
I was just thinking smart applicants, so we could just put a hot tub in the air.
There we
just take it.
All right.
So I'll have,
The only other thing that I need assistance with for the 4th of July is somebody going shopping for
that's my next point.
toys.
Well, let's do it together, because we're gonna need to buy some ketchup and mustard and 3 1-gallon jugs of water.
When do you want to go shopping?
I'm home every day, except tomorrow morning. So, yeah, we're good.
I will work with you as to the time to go shopping and get the rest of the stuff.
Okay, so we're getting gift prizes, gift cards, whatever, and then a couple groceries, nothing.
Okay. I think that takes care of everything for planning for July 4th.
We've got the balloon animals squared away now.
Yeah,
He's
we
good.
got them all taken care of.
Out in New Mexico.
We're good. All right. Next item on the agenda, item 6C, music in the park events. So music in the park event, I have been emailing back and forth with you guys a little bit. Give me here just a second. Troy gave me the contact of a guy in Littleton, Chuck. They have a really great program over there. I did take a look at a bunch of their stuff and their music. When I first turned around and spoke with Chuck regarding what they would be able to offer us for July 23rd, which is the date of our Music in the Park.
August 23rd.
August 23rd, thank you. He responded back to me. He said that most often they perform with a 12-piece group, 3 saxes, 3 brasses, a piano, guitar, bass, drums, and 2 vocalists. And he actually said that they have been using an additional sax and 4 brasses lately for a total of 17-piece bands.
Jazz band.
Right? And the price that he was asking was $800. Now I know it's a little bit more than we had budgeted. If you notice, when I talked about the financial report, I actually put it at like $900, and that included money for the root beer floats. Roughly that runs about $100. So actually, what I did do when I turned around and looked at the expenditures for the month of July, I figured it at this $800 that was on this original. So I turned around and I said to him that was a little bit more than we originally planned on. That our budget originally called for about $450, $500, but I would have a discussion with you guys this evening. And he said that he could get it down to about $600, but instead of it being a 17-piece, it would be a 7-piece band. So that's 10 musicians left. So he said if that doesn't work out, he could go to a barbershop quartet style piece. It's actually a Dixieland jazz band. It wasn't his group, but he said he would do the referral, and that they normally charge between $350 and $400. So you have 3 options here on the table. We can do, and I think we've had quartets before. I mean, they're fine. They are what they are. Or we can have a 7-piece, or we can have a 17-piece. We need to get going on this so that I can, first of all, secure the date with whichever option we choose. And if we're going to go with the 17-piece, and I think for the price-wise, the 17-piece is a phenomenal price. I want to make sure that we get it into the newsletter for the beginning of July and the beginning of August to turn around and to highlight what we're doing as best we can. So,
I'd like to add on to that. I would like to also put it in the Aurora Sentinel. But in our newsletter, if you bring your membership card for Mission Viejo that we have, you get your root beer flow. So if the members of the community get your root beer flow, we can charge people outside the community that come watch it for root beer flows.
There's licensing issues and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Because you can't be a for-profit at that point. No.
Right. We can't do that. We can do it by donation, and we can suggest a donation, and generally we put the can out there anyway to help cover some of the costs. And I can tell you that on average, at that particular event, we collect somewhere between $50 and $100.
Okay. And I can probably get the root beer and the ice cream donated from Robinson Dairy. My wife sells root beer. She works for IBC, so that's pretty much
okay.
And it's the come on, IBC has no caffeine.
No, it's good. You know what I'm saying? It's better than
All right.
And then do how much ice cream you need, how many gallons? Because they come in 3-gallon buckets. It's pretty.
Oh, we usually buy. I think we usually get 4 to 5, and we usually have 1.5 left. So
Yeah, you don't
so
want to
pretty
run
sure
out.
it's- Yeah,
4 to 5 gallons or 4 to 5
45 gallons. We usually
Right.
They would sell them 3 gallons.
Yeah.
And 6 gallons of vanilla ice cream.
So there's 6 that we'll have root beer floats for the next couple of weeks. We're working some
All right.
I'll get the ice cream root beer.
All right. So back to the original question on the entertainment for the evening. So the choices are 17, 7, or 4.
17.
Okay. So I have a motion for 17. Do I have a second for 17?
I'll second 17.
I have a second for 17. Any further discussion on 17?
Or any other part of the discussion.
Or any other part of the discussion for 7 or 4?
Our question is, well, I guess it depends if we have this canopy or not. How are we going to handle?
We do have to, all right, so we do have to provide, by the way, so whichever option we choose, right? We do have to provide cover and chairs
For them?
for them. Now, I can get the chairs. There's chairs with no arms. I can get the chairs. That's not a problem. The cover for 17, we have three or 4 pop-ups, right? Which is 3.
So 10 by 30.
And so that would cover probably a good majority of them.
That would cover them, but or the big one.
If we had the big one by then, that would cover them.
Or Ricardo's big one.
And then that would be the backup plan, right? If you can then ask Ricardo whether or not it's possible, if he would be willing to set that up for August 23rd.
He's got 200 chairs in his garage, so.
Okay,
If we need.
if we need,
Okay.
that would be great.
Okay, 10 by 30 is designed for 30 people. I'm not sure about how that orientation works, but it's just, but you're not, of course, not factoring in instruments and space between them.
Right.
But that would certainly cover that group.
Should.
It should, without a problem, cover that group. Right.
That's it.
Not the attendees.
Correct.
The attendees, we've always said, has been in the grass, or bring your own chair, bring your own food, so on and so forth. All right, so we're back to 17 is the discussion. We already had a first, we had a second, we already have discussion. Any more discussion? We're still on 17. All right, if there's no further discussion, I'll call it to order. All in favor? Aye, and aye. Passes unanimously. We will go with the 17. All right. I will get the contract out and let them know, and I will also let Todd know so that we have it for the newsletter. All right, so next on the agenda is item 6D, which is the Pro Disposal 6-month program. I did send Todd an article for the newsletter. This program, as we've discussed over the last couple of months, is starting on the 1st of July. The program basically says that Pro Disposal will continue to do its feature of, for anybody that signs up,
1 month free.
they get 1 month. The person who referred them, is that the one?
Yes.
Person who referred them gets 1 month free.
No, we
are paying funding customers.
We are paying, our program will add on to their program for a 6-month period that gives incentive to the new people coming on board, because the current program does not give any incentive to, only gives incentive to the person referring them, not the person who started.
Unless they pay for a year in advance. So they
Right, get a free month free. So our program, starting on the 1st of July, running through the end of December, will also, at the end of 1 year that they've been on, will provide the new program folks 1 month free, paid for by the HOA. In addition, if that person was referred to the program by somebody else, the HOA will also write a check to that individual for $5. So basically what we're doing is we're taking the first month's, or the first year's profit for the trash program that we receive for any new individual coming into the program, and we are deferring that for the first year to raise our numbers. The thing that I want to stress and emphasize on this is that the program is only for new customers. You cannot be a current pro customer and quit for a few months and then go back into the program. You have to be a new customer, not a customer of pro, within our program for a minimum of 1 year. And we are only offering it for a 6-month period. Okay? That way we will not have people turn around and drop out of the program to try to come back in the program. And because the object here is not to lose money, it's to break even and to increase our numbers. And eventually that will turn into an increase in revenue to the HOA. Right? So that's where we are with that. And so that takes effect on 1 July. We will have flyers for the 4th of July picnic on that. Pro Disposal is also turning around and they're trying to get me a bunch of stickers that have the recycle logo on there, so that people, if they have a recycled container, that they can put that on the recycled container for that.
I got it wrong, but.
Oh, yes, and I did not bring, because I did not get a response back from you.
Yeah, we were traveling all day Sunday and yesterday.
Okay. I will stop by, and if it's okay, can I stop by and see you like Thursday evening?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Baby's doing well?
Yeah, he's great. He's growing like crazy.
Good.
Yeah, he's almost already doubled his birth weight. And it's been like 6 weeks, so wow. Yeah, good boy. Anyways, sorry.
All right.
Can't wait till you get back.
I think next month.
All right.
Excellent.
All right. Nice job by Jillian, and we appreciate that. All right, so the program starts on the 1st of July, ends December 31st. They will also be, Pro is also going to turn around and after the 4th of July, they said probably about a month into the program, they are also going to pay for flyers going to discussing the program. And so.
They sent one out the last bill too.
Did they? There's more details with that as well that is coming out. They have all the information, and we're going to continue to work with them to try to boost up those numbers. All right. So if you haven't already joined the Mission Viejo Trash program, please consider doing so. So the next item on the agenda is item 6E. I turned around and I kind of had this on the agenda. There were some funky things going on with the way that we got to now work within QuickBooks. I was originally going to put the entire charge of the $2,500 that we paid and then turn around and put the $541 back in as a refund. It's a real mess. It all happened in the same month. That's why you only see the amount of $19.86 on the auto owners. If you remember last month, we discussed on whether or not the $541 in savings, there was a refund, by the way, was the difference in between having three special events with insurance on it versus one. Right? Do you remember that discussion? So the $541, based upon what you guys had decided last meeting, is the result of that. That is the savings that we had based upon that. So again, just wanted to make sure that you guys were aware of what that amount was in the refund, and the refund was issued. All right, off to new business. All right, unimproved trail that runs from Mission Viejo Park, Mission Elementary. So I do have a map here. I'm going to just turn this map around a little bit and point to where I'm referring to. So at this end of the map, here is the Mission Viejo Elementary School, and over here is Mission Viejo Park. Right across the street from the elementary school, there is a pass-through at the gate, and then there is an unimproved trail that goes from there to the back of the baseball fields right behind the building that's there. There's actually a bridge that crosses through there. So there's a couple things that I wanted to talk to you about with this particular thing, and that is that this particular area, when the community was originally designed in 1975, the intent was that the city would improve the trail on this to hardscape and put lighting through here. This has become a nuisance area and one in which I'm constantly getting email barrages on as it being one of a safety concern. There have been people reported to be homeless people sleeping in the culverts in that area. It is also a haven for a wolf den and several other wild animals. Wolves,
Fox, can be.
Sorry, fox den.
Thank God.
My fried is already brain, right? My brain is already fried. Anyway, we're talking with the city on this. How do I know it's city property? I know it's city property by two reasons. Well, it's stamped down on the bottom, but you know where that pass-through is that goes by Mission Elementary School. It's a walk-in kind of an open fence with a kind of push-in thing. If you actually look at the sidewalk right there, it actually goes down to like a driveway entrance. And if you actually look at that gate, or if you actually look at the fence right next to it, it's actually held on as a gate. And that gate actually gets opened up, and open space actually comes in there with one of their mowers and comes through every couple of months and mows it. So it is city property because they're maintaining it. So I wanted to talk with you guys and let you guys know that I have spoken with the city about that particular thing. The city will be holding budget meetings over the next 2 months regarding the 2015 and 2016 city budget.
We need to attend their council meetings.
The ward meetings should be coming up to express any concerns within the ward for improvements that you would like to see within the ward. As such, I have not received any notice yet of Bob Broom's notice for our ward to hold a meeting regarding a budget. However, when and if you see the notice for that meeting, I strongly encourage you to go to that meeting and let Bob know that we would like to have some sort of approved path in there, if not concrete, one of those, the hard, what do you call it, the asphalt? Asphalt. Not even asphalt, it's the crushed rock, right, where it's clearly identified. But moreover, what we want through there is we want some lighting. We do know that this is a place that our children, grandchildren, neighbors, children are coming through that area from one end of the neighborhood through to get to school. We do know that. We do know, and it was kind of interesting when I met with several people from the city, that There were probably about 35 people, most of them teenage or young adult males, going into that area, and the police has received several reports of drug deals going on in this area. So it is not a place that I would consider safe in the late evening without some sort of lighting, without some sort of way to go through. The other thing that I want to impress on folks is that if you are trying to file a report with the police about somebody in this particular area, the last several times that the police have been notified, by the time the police get there, they've either escaped out of one end or the other. The police have been made aware of where the exit pieces are on both ends of it. And the reason that they're getting out before the police get in is because a lot of these youth are carrying police scanners.
They've got it right on their phones.
So, and they've got it right on their phones. So if you call in a report and you anticipate that the people that you are trying to call in on may be listening in on a police scanner, please make sure that you let the dispatch know that the last several times that you've tried to call or somebody's tried to call, that as soon as the call goes out, they scatter, that they are listening in on police scanners. They will turn around and bring the information to the officer or officers on a different channel so that they can catch them and take care of business. Okay? So if you have that, please be aware that there are several methods under which you can, regardless if it's this area or somewhere else within the community, please be aware that you can do that. Again, I wanted to let you guys know that we're working and trying to improve that area.
Yeah, his city budget meeting was May 5th.
And I'm going to continue to work with them.
His next one is September 16th. September 16th. At Mission Viejo Library.
At Mission Viejo Library.
Topic is to be determined.
Okay. So I strongly encourage you, give Bob a call, an email through the city. I'll have continued conversations with him as well as with other city leaders to see whether or not within the next year or two we can get some funding to look at that, to see whether or not we can improve that area. All right. And that was all informational. Item 7B, the open space trail that ends on private property at Southeast Fitness. All right. So this is a map that clearly shows the Southeast Fitness area. I turned around and I kind of dotted around here for you guys. There's a trail that ends up entering to the back of the parking lot for Southeast Fitness. That has a couple of stairs going down. That is an open space trail that is owned by the city. Until this year, the city had been maintaining this open space trail. Until about 4 months ago, when they stopped cutting grass anywhere adjacent to the Southeast Fitness property, not to the front where the property line ends, but all the way to the back of the property line. So Daleen has been cited several times for overgrown grass by the city for not cutting city grass. So the same day that I met with the folks on this issue, I also met with the city folks on this issue. And so right now the city is trying to determine a couple of things because she's also being cited on the other side of her property. One day she's being told, here's where your property line is. The next day that property, they say, no, your property line is over here. And then the next day the property line is further over this way. So she's trying to get a clear indication of where her property line is and what it is that she needs to be taken care of. Anyway, we've had some discussion with her as well as with the city as to who has responsibility of what part of the, particularly the trail that ends up on that private property, and what can be done to, again, here we have a lot of beggars coming through and doing drug deals towards the back of that property and going through those open space trails. Come October, I strongly believe that if we wind up with a pot shop somewhere nearby, that is even going to be more of an issue. So I wanted to get ahead of it with the city to talk with them about what what are the responsibilities of Southeast Fitness to maintain an open trail to that area, and who's responsible for the maintenance all the way down to where it reaches ground level. The city turned around and stopped doing maintenance and fixing the sidewalk, everything else up to a certain point. They haven't done anything to the steps, which are deteriorating. Daniel says, I don't have the money to do it. So now it becomes an issue of, do I want somebody to trip and fall and hurt themselves on the steps and lead off of that city trail? Should the city be responsible to do it? Should it be the owner of the property to do it? Or do they have the legal right, seeing that it ends on private property, do they have the right to direct a fence to block off the end of that trail, seeing that it drops out into private property? So that is where the conversation is right now with the city. The city is taking a look at the legalities of all those things. The other things that I know that both the city and Southeast Fitness have been talking about is if it's the city's responsibility for that open space trail all the way down to the back of the property, why don't they have, because now it exits into private property again, how do they enter or exit private property without trespassing? And the reason that that is being questioned is because they have people that are walking along the back of the parking lot and then crossing over the landscaping and have killed the grass, have killed what little vegetation is still there, and then have complained about, oh, my pet is going to hurt themselves, or this is going to be this for children. And so there's some concern about private citizens and residents in Mission Viejo turning around and exiting through that property without regard to any landscaping, however good or bad that landscaping may be. It certainly doesn't help to try to get anything improved. Again, wanted you guys to be aware of the conversations that are going on around this. I know that there is being a push by both the owner of the property to turn around and say, just erect a fence, if that's an option. I know that residents, particularly that walk through there quite a bit and maybe use that facility, may be upset about that option. There's talk about other options to put a fence there with a gate with a code on it that people who are active members of Southeast Fitness would then have access to the code that would change periodically, so make sure that they were active, blah, 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 so that those people who are Southeast Fitness members can then access through, because then it's property that they're paying access to get into anyway. So there's a lot of different things that are floating around right now. I know that everybody's trying to be good neighbors and everything else. The biggest hindrance is these groups of people that are congregating along that trail and to the back of that property. So again, just food for thought for you guys. Wanted to make sure that all of that stuff is discussed and you guys are aware of what's going on. And the enormous amount of hours that we're spending having to deal with issues like this in the community. All right. On to item 7C, which is the welcome committee to talk about keychains. Do we want to reorder them, or do we want to do something different? Well, we're out. It'll be probably less than $100 for the order of keychains. They well, what did we order last time? I think they wind up being like 65, 70 cents a keychain, somewhere in that area, so we wind up getting like 200, 150, 200, somewhere in that area, and that usually lasts a year, year and a half. So
did she have any other thoughts on anything she might That would be interesting.
She's open.
Do
We can certainly, we have the money to do it, it's in the budget, and there's, certainly as we get towards the end of the year, then we can turn around and say, maybe we turn around and change something else out, so that as something else goes out, that we can turn around and, if we have extra funds at the end of the year to order something
I
else.
think it's going to be a little bit more new people.
Exactly. And,
So,
right.
yeah, just go ahead and get it.
All right, I'll go ahead.
So I'll make a motion to order the, just order new keychains.
Okay. Okay, and we have a second.
I'll second it, and then possibly bring it up for discussion in the fall.
Yes, to see if there's anything
Maybe.
new that we want.
Trish, get
And again, this way here, it also gives you guys an opportunity to turn around and say, hey, I'd like to take a look at something different, whether or not they're the mini flashlights or something else we want to have our frame.
Gotcha.
I have a guy that, one of my buddies owns a corporate tchotchke company, so.
Okay, you can take a look. All right, so any further discussion?
No.
All right, so without any further discussion, I'll bring it to the floor for all in favor. Aye, and aye. Passes unanimously. The Aurora City plans. There is one thing that I did receive. I'll make sure that you get it so that it goes out. It is on the water directly across the street from Quincy Reservoir.
Okay.
Say again?
Right by some of those center.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
And Horizon Middle School, right? They will be doing some work at upgrading that facility over the next few months.
Does that affect us?
Well, it doesn't directly, but again, it's something that people should be aware of because if they use the reservoir, if they use the Quincy Reservoir, or depending on whether or not they're draining water, doing this, doing that, because they're upgrading that facility, right?
Okay.
There
What
is
about
a
households? Are we going to need to?
there is a whole Q&A thing. I just got it in the mail, and I picked it up just before the meeting. I will turn around and give it to Jeremiah so he can put it on the website. There's a whole question and answer thing on there. If you can get that up there for that facility on our website, I would appreciate it. Is there anything else anybody has? Okay. Yes, ma'am.
There was an accident on Hampton, and it knocked a wall.
Yes, ma'am.
Wall, and there are two houses involved.
Uh-huh.
A friend of mine is interested in fixing it, and he approached the homeowners, and they said that the homeowners association has the brick.
We
Yes.
have bricks.
And
You have break.
I'm wondering if what would he have to do to find out about how
Okay.
he's going to give the homeowners an estimate. So I guess he's going to need to find out how many bricks he's going to need. What does he do with them?
All right. Well, on our website, there is a link. I believe that it's listed as, is it marked as bricks or something down there? We'll get you the exact place. And anyway, there is a place for where you can find out the information on the cost of the bricks.
Okay.
Now, there's a couple of things that play into this,
Uh-huh.
all right? And so we've been messing with this a lot. So I'll give you the short of it. The short of it says that if you are doing the project as a homeowner, not with a contractor, and not going through insurance, you can get the bricks. If you turn around and coordinate with us, you can purchase the bricks if you're an active member at one price.
Yeah, the homeowners, or at least one homeowner, expressed a desire to possibly work with this
Right.
person.
So
So
the other-
she has to approach the homeowners association.
if she approaches the homeowners association, she can get it at that price, but she's the homeowner has to pick up the brick from our site
Okay.
for that price. If there's an insurance claim on it, however, it goes to the higher price. Let me tell you why. We discounted the bricks, right? We purchased the bricks, and we purchased the bricks from a place in California, and we had to pay a substantial amount to have those bricks sent to Colorado, and they're the only place you can get it. So we discounted it for homeowners that want to do some light repair, without the cost of the transportation. Obviously, then the HOA is picking up the tab for the cost of the transportation. If it's going through an insurance company and the homeowner would have to buy those bricks on their own and get them from California, you'd be paying an enormous amount for that transportation. And the insurance company would pay that. They would recover it. And so we would turn around and give you the invoice for the full amount of the bricks so that you can turn around and get them. And so normally the contractor that you would get, and I know a lot of this stuff is going on because I actually have a meeting with one person later on this week to pick up about 100 bricks for one of those repairs along that area. It might be one of the neighbors you're talking about. So there's a difference in the price based upon what's going on, and that's so that the HOA and all of the residents do not bear the burden of the transportation costs solely if there's an insurance claim. And so it is at under remodeling.
Under remodeling on our website, missionviejohoa.org, remodeling.
Okay.
And then at the bottom it has Mission Viejo now selling replacement all bricks.
Right? And so if it's being done through a contractor, it would be a non-member, and then there's a limited member discount price, and it's substantial. It's about $2.
It's 40% off.
40% off, yeah. It's almost $2 a brick difference, and so, you know, it does make a substantial amount of difference. So, all right.
And there's three different brick types. So make sure there's the standard block, extended block, and then of course the caps. The caps go on top, obviously, but the standards are 6x6 by 16, and then the extended are 6x8 by 16.
Right. And a normal section is usually about a half a dozen or a dozen of the extended brick.
If you probably saw that wall, they could probably use some of the old ones over again.
It depends. You know, a contractor will tell you for them to turn around and chop all that old stuff off of there. It takes the cost is actually about $6 to $7 per brick just to get all the old stuff off of it to be able to reuse it. So it's kind of a tough thing. Yeah. All right. Any other questions? If not, if I can get a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
You have a second? Any final discussion before we close the meeting?
Nope.
All right. All right. With that said, we're going to turn around and adjourn the meeting. Wish everybody a happy evening. We will see most of you guys on the 4th of July. And then again next month here. Don't forget National Night Out on the 5th of August. Great. Thank you.
Here, I mean,
Scanner rating.